After I jumped off a building at my birthday party, my whole family went crazy. After I jumped off a building at my birthday party, my whole family went crazy. Mom said I ruined my sister's birthday party. My brother kicked me in the heart and called me a vicious monster. My fiancé, who was holding my crying sister, looked at me with disgust. They all said, "Why don't I die?" Okay. This is my third year back at Xiao's, and I decided to listen to them once. Chapter 1. Shen Xingla, what did you do to Ye again? My mother Lu Monyun's voice was as sharp as an ice pick, piercing my eardrums. I stood in the corridor on the second floor and looked at the living room downstairs. My nominal sister Xiao Yu was covering her heart, falling on the sofa with a pale face, gasping for air. My brother Xiao Yu rushed over immediately and carefully helped her up, as gently as if he were handling a rare treasure. Yeah, don't be afraid, brother is here. His voice was as gentle as I have ever heard. The next second, he raised his head and looked at me with eyes filled with ice and rage. Get off. My body stiffened, as if I was nailed to the spot. Today is the third year since I was taken back to Qiao's home. It was also the first month that Xiao Yu, the fake daughter who had occupied my life for 18 years, moved back to Qiao's house. A month ago, my parents finally found me their biological daughter who was living abroad. They gave me a generous material life, but they were stingy in giving me any family affection. They thought that I grew up in the countryside, had an indelible rusticity, and behaved vulgarly, making me unworthy of publicity. Not as good as the elegant, noble, and versatile Xiao Yu, whom they had carefully cultivated for 18 years. Xiao Yu cried and moved out because of my arrival. My parents and brother were extremely distressed and treated me coldly every day. Finally, a week ago, they took her back because it's too pitiful for Ye to be alone outside. Euphemistically called it, there are just many pairs of chopsticks at home. Look, it's just a pair of chopsticks. I lowered my eyes and walked slowly down the stairs. Every step is like stepping on the tip of a knife. The gazes of everyone in the living room turned into sharp arrows, striking me behind. It's not me, I said, my voice dry. Just now, I was just drinking water in the living room. Xiao Yu came over and asked me softly, "Sister, are you still angry with me?" I said no. Then she suddenly covered her chest and fell down. You dare to quibble. My mother, Lu Manyun, rushed over and was about to slap me in the face. I subconsciously turned my head to avoid it. Her hand failed, which made her even more angry. She pointed at my nose, trembling with anger. Look at you. You are full of bad habits. Yiya has congenital heart disease. You know that she can't stand the stimulation, but you still deliberately anger her. I didn't even touch her with a finger. Mom, don't be angry. Xiao Yu weakly pulled the corner of Lu Manyun's clothes. Her eyes were red, and she said considerately, I don't blame my sister, maybe. Maybe it's because I am not in good health. My sister just came back and is not used to the family yet. It's my fault. I shouldn't talk to my sister. Her words confirmed my accusation. Xiao Yu's anger was completely ignited. Like an enraged lion, he rushed over and pushed me away. Stay away from Ye, you bastard. My back hit the shelf in the corner hard, and a blue and white porcelain vase on the shelf fell to the ground with a clang and broke into pieces. The sharp fragments cut my calf, and a trace of blood oozed out instantly. It hurts, but it's not as good as the airless, suffocating feeling in my heart. I looked at my biological brother, who glared at me for another girl. Looking at the mother who was holding Xiao Yu, her face was full of distress, but she didn't even bother to give me a look. Looking at the father, Xiao Zhenxiong, who had been sitting on the sofa the whole time, flipping through the financial newspapers indifferently, as if it had nothing to do with him. This is my family. That's enough. Dad, who had been silent all this time, finally spoke. There was no warmth in his voice. What's the fuss about? What does it look like? He put down the newspaper and looked at me with scrutiny and impatience. Shen Xinglua, go apologize to your sister. I froze in place, and my blood seemed to freeze. Why? Apologize. Xiao Yu roared again, with a fierce look in his eyes as if he wanted to eat me. I bit my lower lip and tasted a hint of blood. Just then, the door opened. My fiancé, Cheng Yan, walked in. He frowned immediately when he saw the mess in the living room and the crying Xiao Yu. He didn't ask what happened, walked straight to Xiao Yu, took off his suit jacket, and put it on her trembling shoulders. What's wrong, Ye? His voice was more nervous than I had ever heard it. Xiao Yu buried her head in his arms and cried harder. Cheng Yan raised his head, looked past everyone, and finally landed on me. There was undisguised disappointment and disgust in his eyes. Shen Xinglua, it's you again. It's me again. My heart felt like it was being held tightly by an invisible hand, and it hurt so much that I couldn't breathe. The engagement between me and Cheng Yan was made by my grandparents. Before I came back, everyone thought Cheng Yan's fiancé was Xiao Yu. They were childhood sweethearts, a match made in heaven. My appearance, like a rude intruder, shattered everything. Cheng Yan hates me, I know. But I didn't expect that he could be so disgusted. Regardless of the antecedents or consequences, I was directly convicted. Everyone looked at me. Accusatory, disgusted, indifferent. I am like a sinner standing on the judgment seat, unable to explain anything. I suddenly felt ridiculous. What on earth was I expecting? Expect them to look at me? I hope they can share some love with me. Slowly, I straightened my back. Under the stunned gazes of all of them, I walked up to Xiaoyu and said word by word, "Sorry." Then I turned to my parents, my brother. "Sorry." Finally, I looked at Chunyan. "Sorry." I said all the "I'm sorry" yes. Are you satisfied? After saying that, I turned around, walked up the stairs step by step, and returned to the cold room that did not belong to me. Closed the door, blocking out all the sounds downstairs. I leaned against the door panel and slowly slid to the ground. The wound on my calf was still bleeding, but I didn't feel any pain at all. My vision was blurry. It turns out that this is what it feels like to be heartbroken. At this moment, a cold, emotionless mechanical voice sounded in my mind. It is detected that the host's mood fluctuates violently, which meets the criteria of heartbroken. The separation system is officially activated. Host Shen Xinghua, are you willing to pay your life, to leave the current world, go to a brand new world, and gain a new life? Chapter 2. What? I was stunned and thought I was hallucinating. The mechanical sound sounded again, cold and clear. Leave the system, a system that can help the desperate start a new life. You only need to pay your life in the current world as the price, and you can go to a new world tailor-made for you. There, you will have a new identity, a healthy body, and unconditional love. Unconditional love. These 5 words were like a heavy hammer, hitting my heart hard. I couldn't help laughing, but tears welled up uncontrollably. The scam has come to my mind. Host, this is not a scam. The system seems to be able to sense my thoughts. You can think of this as an equivalent exchange. You have nothing in this world. Your existence is a burden to them and a torture to yourself. Using a life that has lost its meaning to exchange for a future full of hope is the most cost-effective deal. It's right. I literally have nothing. When I was first brought back, I had fantasies. I think they are my biological parents and my biological brothers. Blood is thicker than water. They will definitely love me. I tried hard to learn the table manners they taught me, tried to change my accent, and tried to imitate Xiaoyu's ladylike demeanor. I turned myself into a lame imitator just to get a little approval from them. But the harder I tried, the more disgusted they became. Lu Manyun said, "It makes people look unappetizing if they imitate others." Xiaoyu said, "Don't imitate Ye. You are not worthy." Xiao Zhenxiong said, "Be calm and don't always think about things that don't belong to you." Even Cheng Yan warned me coldly. "Put away your petty thoughts. Ye's position is not something you can covet. Things that don't belong to me. Ye's location." It turns out that from the beginning, in their hearts, the position of the eldest lady of the Qiao family and the position of the future young lady of the Tring family belonged only to Xiaoyu. I, Shen Xinglua, am just a fake trying to occupy a magpie's nest. No, I'm not even a fake. I'm just an existence that shouldn't exist. I agree. I answered in my mind. I do. No matter what the cost. System binding successful. Detachment mission starts. The host is asked to complete emotional stripping with all important people in the current world within the specified time. When the peeling degree reaches 100%, the host will complete the separation. Current stripping progress, 10%. Countdown, 30 days. End event, Xiaoyu's 20th birthday party. I leaned against the door, wiped away my tears, and looked out the window at the dark night. Xiaoyu's birthday party. That's fine. While they were celebrating her, I left quietly. This should be the best gift I can give them. From that day on, I changed. I no longer try to please anyone. At the dinner table, when Lu Manyun frowned again because of the way I held my chopsticks, I didn't put them down in a panic like before, but continued to pick up the dishes without changing my expression. She was stunned, as if she didn't expect that I would dare to ignore her. Shen Xinglua, didn't you hear me talking to you? I raised my head and looked at her calmly. I heard it, but I'm hungry. Lu Manyun turned blue with anger. What is your attitude? The attitude towards eating. What if? Perform a hunger strike for you? You. She was so angry that she couldn't speak. Xiaoyu on the side put down his chopsticks with a bang. If you can't eat, get out. Don't be an eyesore here. I nodded, put down the bowl and chopsticks, and really stood up. I'm full. Please take it easy. Then, under their shocked eyes, I turned and went upstairs. That's great. It saved me another embarrassing meal. Behind him came Lu Manyun's furious yelling and Xiaoyu's soft words of comfort. I closed the door, and the world became quiet. In my mind, the voice of the system sounded. Emotional separation from Lu Manyun plus 5%. Emotional separation from Xiaoyu plus 5%. Current total progress, 20%. It turns out that this is what is called emotional stripping. Just to make them completely disappointed and disgusted with me. This is so simple. Because they never had hope for me. Chapter 3. One afternoon a few days later, I was painting in my room. Painting is my only habit brought from the countryside. My adoptive parents were very poor and couldn't afford painting materials, so I used tree branches to draw on the ground and burn charcoal on waste cardboard. That was the only time I felt at peace. After returning to Qiao's house, I had the best painting materials, but I could never find the original state of mind again. Until now. When I decided to leave, my heart calmed down like never before. The lines under the pen also become smooth and powerful. Bang. The door was violently pushed open. Lu Manyun and Xiaoyu broke in, followed by several servants. Lu Manyun's eyes swept across my room like a knife and finally landed on me, his eyes cold. Yeya's favorite diamond necklace is missing. Did you take it? I stopped my brush and looked at her. Here we go again, the classic frame-up phase. I know that necklace was bought by Qiao Zhenxiong for 8 million at the auction last month and was given as a gift to Qiaoyu. Not me. I said. Not you. Qiaoyu sneered and pointed at me. Who else in this family would do such sneaky things besides you? Yeya wanted to wear that precious necklace today, but she couldn't find it. She was so anxious that she almost cried. Lu Manyun said sharply, Shen Xinglua, I'm warning you. You'd better hand over the necklace right away. Don't force me to search. I put down the brush, stood up, and spread my hands. You can search. My frankness seemed to irritate them. A trace of cruelty flashed in Lu Manyun's eyes. Okay, this is what you said. Search it for me. Search it inch by inch. I don't believe it can't be found. After receiving the order, the servants immediately began to rummage through the boxes and cabinets. My clothes were thrown all over the floor, my books were roughly swept to the floor, my easel was knocked over, and paint was spilled everywhere. My room instantly became a mess. I just stood there and watched coldly. They looked like a group of robbers, trampling on my last remaining dignity. Xiaoyu walked up to me and looked at me condescendingly, his eyes full of contempt. You can't change your poor ways. Even if you wear famous brands, you're still a thief at heart. I raised my head and looked him directly in the eyes. Xiaoyu, I called his name calmly. If I can't find it, should you apologize to me? He seemed to have heard some big joke. Apologize to you? Do you deserve it? I said no more. It's my fault to reason with a pig. The search continues. They almost turned my room upside down, even lifting the mattress. As a result, of course, nothing was gained. Lu Manyun's face became increasingly ugly. At this moment, Xiaoyu appeared weakly at the door, holding on to the door frame. Mom, brother, what are you doing? She looked at the mess on the floor, her eyes red. Why? How did my sister's room become like this? Yeya, please leave it alone. Lu Manyun walked over to support her. We are helping you find the necklace. Have you found it? Xiaoyu asked softly. Lu Manyun's face froze. Xiaoyu said, yeah, and covered her mouth, as if she remembered something. Mom, I remembered that necklace. I tried it on yesterday and felt it didn't look good with the dress, so I just put it in the bottom drawer of the dressing table. I forgot. There was dead silence in the living room. Everyone's eyes were focused on Xiaoyu. Lu Manyun's expression is as wonderful as a palette. Xiaoyu was also stunned and opened her mouth, unable to speak. I looked at them and suddenly felt extremely ironic. A massive search led to an identified thief, but in the end, it was just the owner's own words of, I forgot. It's so funny. I thought they would at least say, I'm sorry. But I was wrong. Lu Manyun's embarrassed expression only lasted for a few seconds, then he immediately turned to me and scolded me confidently. Even if you didn't get the necklace, so what? If you hadn't put on a bad face every day and made Dia sad, would she have such a bad memory? In the final analysis, it's still your fault. My heart, at that moment, was completely cold. It turns out that this is their logic. Victim guilt theory. No matter what happens, as long as Xiaoyu is wronged, it must be my fault. I looked at Lu Manyun's face that looked a little distorted due to strong words and smiled softly. Emotional separation with Lu Manyun plus 10%. Emotional separation from Qiaoyu plus 10%. Current total progress, 40%. Very good. Very good. Chapter 4. Cheng Yan came the next night. He invited me to the garden. The evening breeze was slightly cool, blowing on my body, but it was not as cold as his eyes. He handed me an exquisite gift box. This is for you. His tone was stiff, as if he was completing a task that had to be done. I didn't answer. What's this? I heard about what happened yesterday. He avoided my gaze and looked at the flowers in the distance. Yeya didn't mean it. She is in poor health and has a poor memory. Don't take it to heart. Listen, what an understatement. She didn't mean it. Don't take it personally. So, my room was turned upside down, and I was humiliated like a thief, just because she said it wasn't intentional. Should I be lightly uncovered? This is compensation. He pushed the gift box in front of me again, with a hint of impatience in his tone. The latest mobile phone. Haven't you been using the old one? I looked at the gift box. Pink. It is Qiaoyu's favorite color. I suddenly understood. This is no compensation for me. This is obviously because he bought it for Qiaoyu, but couldn't find a reason to give it away, so he used it to perfunctory me in the name of compensating me. Cheng Yan, I looked at him and asked seriously, do you love Qiaoyu? His body stiffened, and he suddenly raised his head to look at me, his eyes sharp. What nonsense are you talking about? I'm not talking nonsense. I met his gaze calmly. You grew up together, and everyone said you were a perfect match. If I hadn't come back and stood here now, she should be your fiancée. His Adam's apple rolled up and down, and his eyes flickered. The marriage contract is made by the elders, just like anyone else. He answered stiffly. Really? I smiled. Then why, every time you see me, it seems like you are seeing an enemy, but when you see her, your eyes are so gentle. Shen Xinglua. He seemed to have been stepped on, and his voice suddenly rose in pitch. Don't make trouble unreasonably. I'm just stating the facts. I put away my smile and said word by word. Chen Yan, you don't have to pretend to be nice to me anymore. I don't need your compensation. You should keep your phone and give it to the person you really want to give it to. After saying that, I turned around and left. Stop. He grabbed my wrist from behind with surprising strength. What do you mean? Are you losing your temper? He frowned with a look of disbelief on his face. Shen Xinglua, I thought you were sensible. Yeya is already pitiful enough. She has lost her biological parents for 18 years, and now she returns to this home, and she still wants to see your face. Can't you be considerate of her? Here we go again. The whole world makes me considerate of her. Who will understand me? I shook his hand away hard and looked back at him, my eyes as cold as ice. Cheng Yan, put away your high-sounding rhetoric. If you feel sorry for her, go find her. Don't kidnap me morally in the name of my fiancé. You are unreasonable. He was so angry that his face turned livid. I was too lazy to talk nonsense to him and turned around to leave. Emotional separation from Cheng Yan plus 15%. Current total progress, 55%. Back in a room, I turned on the computer. I used the pocket money I saved to register a Painter account online. I took some pictures of some of my previous paintings and uploaded them. Those paintings include small bridges and flowing water in the countryside, wildflowers on the ridges of fields, and the wrinkled, smiling faces of adoptive parents. They are rough, but full of life. I didn't expect to make any money from this. I just want to leave some trace of my existence to this world before I leave. Unexpectedly, not long after it was released, someone sent me a private message. Madam, you draw so well. Accept the manuscript? I was stunned. This is my first time being called Mrs. This is also the first time that someone has affirmed my painting so directly. My nose felt sore, and tears almost fell. I took a deep breath and typed a reply. Catch. The other party quickly sent an invitation. He wanted to paint a picture of a starry sky. He said that the person he loved most had stars in his name. The reward is 5,000. Is that okay? 5,000. This is a huge sum of money to me. I agreed without hesitation. Kin. That night, I painted very late. I drew the stars all over the sky, the dazzling Milky Way, and the shooting stars streaking across the sky. In the lower right corner of the painting, I signed my pen name, Starfall. Stars fall. It suits me very well. Chapter 5. I made my first money by painting. Although it wasn't much, it was the first time that I gained value based on my own abilities. That feeling is amazing. It was like seeing a faint light in a dark quagmire. I started taking manuscripts online more frequently. My painting style is very special, with both the artistic conception of Chinese painting and the color sense of Western painting. Soon I gained a little fame in that niche circle. There was gradually a small deposit in my account. I haven't touched the money. I plan to donate them anonymously to the primary school in the village where my adoptive parents live after I leave. This is the only thing I can do for them. I thought this could all be done quietly. Until that day, Xiao Yu kicked open my door again. In his hand, he held a printed A4 paper with a painting I posted online. He threw the paper hard on my face, and the edge of the paper scratched my cheek, leaving a burning pain. Shen Xinglua, are you still shameless? His chest heaved violently with anger, and his handsome face was twisted with anger. You actually sell paintings online? It's still something that can't be put on the market. Do you know what others will say about our Qiao family? They say that the daughter of our Qiao family will paint anything just for some money. I looked at him and thought it was ridiculous. What does it have to do with you if I paint my own paintings and make my own money? What does it have to do with the Qiao family? My rebuttal made him even more furious. You have the blood of the Qiao family, and you are a member of the Qiao family. Whatever you do, you represent the face of the Qiao family. He pointed at a landscape painting I had just painted on my desk, his eyes full of disgust. What's the use of drawing these messy things? Can they be used as food? Does our Qiao family lack our money? Aren't you doing this just to let people outside see our family's jokes? It turns out that in their eyes, my love and my value are just mess. Just to embarrass them. He stepped forward and grabbed my painting that was not yet dry. I will let you know today what the rules are. No. I screamed and rushed over to grab it back. It was a painting I made for a very important client. It was a field of sunflowers, bright and warm. The client said that was where he and his late wife first met. But it's too late. A trace of cruel pleasure flashed in Xiao Yu's eyes, and he exerted force with his hands. Stab dash. The canvas was torn in half. The golden sunflower seed broke instantly. My world also completely collapsed with that crisp sound. I stared blankly at the two broken canvases, which fell to the ground. It was like watching my heart being torn apart. Now, are you satisfied? Xiao Yu threw away the canvas in his hand, clapped his hands, and looked at me condescendingly, as if he had done something extraordinary. I didn't cry or make a fuss. I just slowly squatted down and picked up the two canvases. I'm trying to piece it all together. However, if it is broken, it is broken. There's no going back. Very nice. He helped me make up my mind again. I raised my head, looked at Xiao Yu's disgusted face, and suddenly smiled. Xiao Yu, you will regret it. My voice was soft and calm, but he seemed to be hurt by my eyes and took a step back. Regret? What do I regret? Do I regret not getting rid of garbage like you out of the house earlier? I ignored him. I held the broken painting, walked back to the desk, and turned on the computer. I sent a message to that client. Sorry, I may not be able to deliver your painting on time. I took a photo of the torn painting and sent it over, and then said, I will return double the deposit to you. The other party responded quickly. There was no blame, just one sentence. It doesn't matter, as long as everything is fine. Painting is not important. I am not in a hurry. Looking at that sentence, my tears finally burst. Emotional separation from Xiao Yu plus 20%. Current total progress, 75%. The stripping task is about to be completed. Chapter 6. There is still 1 week left before Xiao Yu's birthday party. The atmosphere at home became festive and busy because of this banquet. Lu Manyun personally watched the workers setting up the venue to ensure that every detail was perfect. Xiao Jinxiong used his connections to invite all the celebrities in the city. Xiao Yu even went to great lengths to prepare a mysterious birthday gift for Xiao Yu. Each of their faces was filled with happy expectations. And I am like a ghost forgotten in the corner. No one paid any attention to me and no one noticed my changes. I started packing my things. In fact, there is nothing to deal with. When I came to this home, I brought only a shabby suitcase. Now, when I leave, I only need to take myself with me. I sorted out the brand name clothes, bags, and jewelry that the Chiao family bought for me one by one and put them back to their original places. These things never belonged to me. Lu Manyun would only curl his lips contemptuously when he bumped into her occasionally. Why? What are you getting into? Are you trying to attract our attention in this way? Shen Xinghua, let me tell you, it's useless. Error 500, server error. 1500, that's an error. There was an error. Please try again later, that's all we know. Yes, everything you said is right. The system was in my mind, calmly broadcasting. Emotional separation with Liu Manyun plus 2%. Emotional separation from Xiao Yu plus 1%. The progress bar is advancing slowly, but surely. Only the last bit is left. 3 days before the birthday party, Xiao Jinxiong, my father who always had everything to do, finally thought of me. He called me to the study. This is the second time I have stepped into this place after returning to Qiao's house. The first time, he warned me not to dream of things that didn't belong to me. Sit. He pointed to the chair opposite. I sat down. He took out a bank card from the drawer and pushed it in front of me. There's $500,000 in it. I looked at the card and didn't move. In a few days, Yia's birthday party will be held, and it will also be the day when our Qiao family will officially introduce her to everyone. His voice was a consistent businessman's tone, calm, rational, and without a trace of emotion. I know you feel uncomfortable, but after all, Yia has lived in our family for 18 years. We have feelings and responsibilities for her. On the day of the banquet, I hope you can calm down and not do anything to embarrass us. This 500,000 is your compensation. Compensate. Compensation again. They always like to use money to solve everything. Use money to make up for their ridiculous, non-existent guilt. Also, he paused, as if he was a little embarrassed to say it. After the banquet, we will announce to the public that your engagement with Cheng Yan is cancelled. My heart sank suddenly. Although I had expected it, hearing it with my own ears still felt like being pricked with needles. I've already said hello to the Cheng family. Xiao Jinxiong continued. Cheng Yan, that child, has always only had Yeya in his heart. It's not sweet to be forced, but it's good for you and him. He looked at me with a hint of charity in his eyes. Don't worry, even if the engagement is cancelled, you will still be the daughter of the Qiao family. In the future, we will find a more suitable one for you. I looked at his sanctimonious face and suddenly felt sick. More suitable? A well-matched marriage partner who can accept a country bumpkin like me? I picked up the bank card on the table and weighed it in my hands. Then, in front of him, he folded it gently. With a pop sound, the bank card broke into 2 halves. Xiao Jinxiong's pupils shrank suddenly. You. I threw the 2 plastic halves on the table and stood up. You don't need to worry about my affairs. As for Xiao Yu's birthday party, I looked at him and gave a cold smile. Don't worry, I will give her a gift that she will never forget. It's a big gift. After saying that, I turned around and left the study. Behind him, his angry roar came. Emotional separation with Xiao Jinxiong plus 15%. Current total progress, 95%. Just short of the last 5%. Cheng Jin. Chapter 7. The last time Cheng Yan and I met was the day before the birthday party. He made an appointment with me at the coffee shop where we first met. That meeting was also a disaster. He was an hour late and didn't even look at me during the whole process. He only told me coldly that he would not acknowledge the marriage. Today, he arrived on time. He looked a little haggard, with a faint greenish black under his eyes. What do you want from me? I got straight to the point. He stirred the coffee in front of him and remained silent for a long time before speaking. Xinglu, let's break off the engagement. When he said this, he didn't look at me. I know, I replied calmly. Dad already told me. He seemed a little surprised by my calmness. He raised his head and looked at me complicatedly. Aren't you sad? Sad. I almost laughed out loud. Should I feel sad for losing someone who never belonged to me and always humiliated me? Why should I be sad? I asked. Isn't this what you have always wanted? Congratulations, Qingyan, you are free. You can pursue your moon and moon openly. My words were like a knife, stabbing him. His expression turned ugly instantly. Shen Xingla, do you have to speak in such a thorny tone? Then what tone should I use? Thank you with tears of gratitude for finally letting me go. He was speechless by me. In the end, he could only lean back on the chair in frustration. I just feel that this shouldn't be like this between us. He whispered, with a hint of exhaustion in his voice. I know that my mother and the Qiao family are a little prejudiced against you, but Yeye is innocent. Stop. I interrupted him. Chengyan, put away your rhetoric. I'm tired of hearing it. I stood up and looked at him condescendingly. You asked me out today. Isn't it just so that I can cooperate with you in the play at the banquet tomorrow? Don't worry, I won't embarrass you. Because that was also the last time I appeared in front of you. He didn't understand the meaning of my words and just thought I was still talking angrily. He frowned and wanted to say something, but in the end it just turned into a sigh. Xinglua, why are you always so aggressive? Aggressive? It turns out that in your eyes, my self-protection is just aggressive. I looked at his handsome but disgusting face and suddenly felt that everything should be over. Chengyan, I called his name for the last time. Do you know what I regret most? He looked at me blankly. I regret that you found me 3 years ago. I regret knowing each and every one of you. After saying that, I turned around and walked out of the cafe without looking at him again. The sun was dazzling, but I felt cold all over. In my mind, the voice of the system came as promised. Emotional separation from Chengyan plus 5%. Current total progress, 100%. The emotional stripping task is completed. The escape program has been started and will be executed at the end event, Qiao Yu's 20th birthday banquet. Host, congratulations. About to get a new life. Chapter 8. Qiao Yu's 20th birthday party was arranged in the garden of Qiao's villa. The lights are bright and the guests are like clouds. Almost all the celebrities in the city were present. Everyone has a decent smile on their face. They are drinking glasses and wearing fragrant clothes. Qiao Yu is the absolute protagonist tonight. She wore a tall white gauze skirt. The skirt was studded with tiny diamonds, sparkling in the light. She wore exquisite makeup, like an otherworldly princess. Lu Manyun and Xiao Zhenxiong stood beside her, proudly introducing their lost and found baby daughter to everyone. Xiao Yu was like a knight, guarding her every step of the way. Chengyan also came. He stood not far away, his eyes always following Qiao Yu's figure. The love in his eyes almost overflowed. What a happy family. What a match made in heaven. I was wearing the simplest white dress and stood in the outermost corner of the crowd, like an out-of-place intruder. No one noticed me. In other words, they noticed it, but tacitly chose to ignore it. Occasionally, a few eyes glanced at me with undisguised contempt and sympathy. Look, that's the real daughter we found from the countryside. TSK, we really have the same people, but different fates. Compared with Miss Qiao Yu, she is in the sky and on the earth. I heard that she has evil intentions and bullies Miss Qiao Yu every day. Isn't that right? A dove occupying a magpie's nest is not enough. Those whispers pierce my ears like needles. But my heart is already numb. Very good, let them talk. Anyway, it's the last time. I picked up a glass of champagne and drank it slowly. The taste is very astringent. Halfway through the banquet, it was time to give gifts. The gifts given by the guests were each more valuable than the last. Xiao Yu gave Qiao Yu a world-limited pink sports car. When the key was handed over to her, there was an exclamation of surprise. Chengyan gave Qiao Yu an exclusively designed star and moon necklace and put it on for her personally. Qiao Yu lowered her head shyly. Her cheeks flushed. Everyone started heckling them to get together. Lu Manyun and Xiao Zhenxiong laughed from ear to ear. This scene is really dazzling. I looked at them and drank the last sip of wine in my glass with no expression on my face. Then I put down my glass, walked through the crowd, and walked step by step towards the stage where everyone was watching. Chapter 9. My appearance brought the lively atmosphere to a halt for an instant. Everyone's eyes were focused on me. There are surprises, astonishments, and gloating at a good show. Lu Manyun's face immediately darkened. Shen Xingluan, what are you doing up here? Get down. Xiao Yu even stood directly in front of Qiao Yu, looking at me warily, as if guarding against an enemy. What do you want to do? I ignored them and just looked at Qiao Yu, holding a simply wrapped gift box in her hand. Happy birthday, sister. I handed over the gift box. This is a birthday gift from me. Xiao Yu was stunned. She looked at Lu Manyun and Xiao Yu as if asking for help. Sister, she said timidly, I can't accept it. Take it. My tone left no room for doubt. Chengyan frowned and walked over, trying to pull me down. Xinglua, stop making trouble. I avoided his hand and kept my eyes locked on Xiao Yu. Why, don't you dare to accept it. My provocation aroused discussions among the people around me. What does she want to do? Is she trying to do something with the gift? I think it looks like the way you look at her is really scary. In full view of everyone, Qiao Yu had no choice but to take the gift box with trembling hands. Open it and take a look, I said. Xiao Yu bit her lip and slowly opened the package layer by layer. When she saw what was inside clearly, she screamed, "Ah," let go of her hand, and the gift box fell to the ground. The gift box contained neither precious jewelry nor exquisite ornaments, but a painting. The painting shows the Qiao family. Xiao Zhenxiong, Lu Manyun, Qiao Yu, and Xiao Yu. The four of them stood close together, smiling brightly. In the background is this brightly lit villa. This painting is so lifelike that every person's expression is lifelike. The only problem is, there is no me in this family portrait. I, Shen Xinglua, the legitimate biological daughter of the Qiao family, have been completely wiped out of all traces of my existence. Shen Xinglua, what do you mean? Lu Manyun was shaking with anger, pointing at me, and her voice was trembling. Are you cursing us? You have such a vicious heart. I knew you had bad intentions. Xiao Yu's eyes turned red. He rushed over and pushed me on the shoulder. You are a monster. I staggered as he pushed me, took 2 steps back, and then managed to stand firm. Vicious? Monster? I just drew what you were thinking. Sister, how could you do this? Xiao Yu started to cry, her tears like broken beads. I know you don't like me, but your parents and brother love you. How can you bring them too? Her words were like a fire, completely igniting everyone's anger. The guests pointed at me and cursed me loudly. So vicious. He is simply inhuman. It's someone's birthday. If she gives her something like this, she must be deliberately trying to offend him. The Qiao family is really unlucky for 8 lifetimes to find such a thing. Chang Yan looked at me, the disappointment in his eyes almost drowning me. Xinglua, I didn't expect that you would really become like this. I looked at their faces with anger, disgust, and contempt. I laughed, laughing so hard that tears almost came out. You're right, I said softly. That's how vicious I am. I'm a monster that shouldn't exist. I destroyed your family and robbed your sister of her life. People like me shouldn't live. My voice was not loud, but it reached everyone's ears clearly. The scene became eerily quiet. Everyone looked at me blankly, wondering why I suddenly said these words. I didn't look at them again. I turned around and walked step by step towards the open-air balcony at the edge of the stage. Behind me is the brilliance of the entire city. Chapter 10. The night wind blew up the hem of my white skirt, like a butterfly trying to break free. I stood on the railing of the balcony, tens of meters in the sky below my feet, and the lights in the garden were like scattered stars. Everyone was stunned. Shen Xinglua, what are you doing? Come down quickly. Xiao Zhenxiong's expression finally changed, and he yelled at me, with panic in his voice for the first time. Sister, no! Xiao Yu was so frightened that her face turned pale, and she screamed. Lu Manyun covered her mouth and looked at me in disbelief. Xiao Yu and Chang Yan turned pale. They wanted to rush over, but they didn't dare to act rashly for fear of irritating me. I looked at their horrified faces and suddenly felt more relaxed than ever before. It turns out that only when I stand here and threaten my life can I see expressions other than disgust and indifference on their faces. How ironic. Don't come over. I spoke, my voice so calm that even I was surprised. Don't you always want me to disappear? Don't you all think that you would be happier without me? I glanced at each of them, scanning my cold father, hypocritical mother, irritable brother, and the fiancé I thought would be my salvation. Today, I will fulfill your wish. I opened my arms like a bird ready to embrace the sky. Dad, Mom, brother, I called over one by one. Thank you for your care these past 3 years. Xiao Yu, I wish you a happy birthday. From now on, the position of the eldest daughter of the Qiao family, the position of Cheng Yan's fiancé, and everything else will be returned to you completely. Cheng Yan, I looked at him for the last time and gave him a pale smile. Goodbye. Never see you again. Don't want. Amidst their heartrending shouts and the horrified screams of countless guests, I leaned back. The body instantly lost its support. The wind whistled in my ears, and the world was spinning rapidly. I saw Lu Manyun crying my name heartbreakingly and reaching out to me. I saw Qiao Zhenxiong's always calm face showing fear and collapse for the first time. I saw Qiao Yu rushing to the balcony like crazy, but only caught a piece of air. I saw Cheng Yan. He stood there blankly, his pupils contracting violently, as if his soul had been sucked away. How funny. When I was alive, they were stingy in giving me any warmth. When I decided to die, they were so affectionate and affectionate. Belated affection is cheaper than grass. This was my last thought before losing consciousness. Execution of the escape program is completed. Congratulations to the host, Shen Xinglua. Welcome to your new world. Chapter 11. My soul is floating in the air. I looked at the battered and bloody body downstairs. That was me. The sirens of ambulances pierced the night sky harshly from far to near. The entire Qiao family garden has turned into a mess. The screams of women and the exclamations of men were mixed together. The moment Lu Manyun saw my body, he rolled his eyes and fainted. Xiao Zhenxiong hugged her and roared at the people around him. His voice was like a desperate beast. Xiao Yu knelt on the ground, reaching for the pool of blood with trembling hands, but not daring to touch it. He murmured over and over again, "No, I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. Chung Yen rushed the fastest. He pushed away the crowd like crazy, and when he saw the human-shaped body on the ground, his whole body froze. He slowly knelt down. He stretched out his hand to touch my face, but all he could feel was the warmth and stickiness of his hand. He let out a cry that didn't sound like a human voice, and then punched himself hard in the face. Ah! Like a madman, he banged his head against the cold ground over and over again until blood dripped from his head. Who are you showing it to? I watched all this indifferently. My death was like a bomb thrown into the calm lake, blowing all their disguises to pieces. The birthday party turned into a funeral. The police came and cordoned off the area. My room is blocked. While sorting out my belongings, the police found a diary on my desk. There is also a thick stack of hospital diagnosis certificates. Major depressive disorder, moderate anxiety disorder,